Hi, friends. This week we're talking about theology of our preaching, and I do apologize. I have been sick the last few days. Little girl last week, I have a cold, and gave me a huge hug. So this week I have a cold. Hazards of children's ministry. Um, my aim, in our first question, my aim when I preach is to preach the goodness of God. I want my people to encounter the living God, and I want them to see the Bible come alive because it is the living Word, and I think that helps them understand more. It's not just a dead book, stories, old stories, but in it we can find the living God, and we can find hope for our lives. So I always try to speak with the hope of God, and I always try to give them hope for their journey at the end. Here's a promise. Here's where hope lies. Those things, so that they can take what we've talked about and apply it to their life, because this is about transformation. One theological conviction I have, why I want to preach, I want people to know the goodness of God. My goodness, I lived in such a legalistic way for so long, and I didn't know the goodness of God. God was not merciful, and we always lived in fear of being, judged, and we were always told, don't. But that doesn't transform anybody. Just not doing something. What transforms us is living into, and God's word is do, go, be. And I really like Brown and Powery's statement where they said that those statements we should use is we can, we are able, and we may. They draw us into a transformed life, and they give us future, and they give us wholeness. And I know for me it was whenever my life changed into that, we can. I can do all the loving that I could possibly do. There's no law against it. There's no law against grace and kindness. I can do all the good that I could possibly muster up. And whenever we live into that, we are changed and transformed. And then our last one, what would you define as your deepest theological beliefs about what preaching should aim to be and do? I think it should aim to help the listener encounter God. We're speaking the words of God, and God really does exist, and He really does love us, and He is active in our lives even before we notice that He's there. And so I think part of the joy of my preaching is helping people discover where God is in their lives, and discovering how far down the road they already are. They may think, they complain or say, I'm failing, and it's like, no, you're not. You just get up and do the next good thing, or love people, and that's all really what it's about. We're changing the world, by loving people. And I feel like my calling is to lead people to Christ and help them walk this journey, teach them how. And I may not always be able to speak the deep things of God, but I can speak in ways, simple ideas, in ways that children can understand. And I think that is most important, that the people understand. Because if they don't understand, then they can't apply it to their lives. But we are so blessed, and we've been given this task that I'm just overwhelmed sometimes, believing that He'd really call me to it. And I would like to see that my life verse has always been 1 Peter 3:15, But in your hearts, revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason that you have, with gentleness and respect. I haven't always gotten the gentleness and respect part um, down, but that's getting better. Um, but I've always been prepared. My hope is in Jesus Christ, and I want them to find hope in Jesus Christ too. So you guys have a great rest of your week and a Merry Christmas. Bye.